Hello, Yawning Angel back again with another AMOS video, and in this video we're going to be looking at the screen command and the various commands that go around handling screens within AMOS. Yes, we've kind of overlooked this in the past, and only recently I've discovered there's quite a plethora of commands and ways to manipulate screens within AMOS. So we're going to look at a few of those right now. So I've always known there's been a number of screen commands in AMOS, a number of ways to manipulate screens, but it's only until recently when I needed to do something specific in a project I'm working on that I found out how really useful some of these commands are. So I thought, let's do a video on those and cover them. There's quite a few commands. We're not going to cover them all today, but the ones we are going to look at are screen open. Well, yeah, we've kind of already covered that in a number of videos, but for completeness, we'll cover it again. Screen open, screen close, screen display, and just the humble screen command. And we'll have a look at them in some detail and see how you can use those to make your programs a little bit more interesting. So without further ado, let's get a cup of tea and dive on into the code. Okay, so here we are, quick mouthful of tea. That's not bad actually, we'll make that two. Okay, here we are in the shell of a program that I've already created for this. So what we're going to do then, let me take you through the steps. So the first step, we're going to open 4 normal screens in the conventional way. After that, we're going to close those screens. Yep, stick with me, this will all make sense. The third step will be to open those screens again, but smaller versions of themselves. And then step 4, we're going to position those new screens so they all appear at the same time on your monitor. The 5th step will involve sending some content to those screens. So we're going to make use of procedures in this program in order to do that. We're also going to have a little bit of fun, so stick with me to the end and you can see some fun stuff happening. Okay, so without further ado then, let's get coding. So we're obviously going to use the screen open command as normal, and we're going to open our first screen and we're going to make that 320 by 200. We're going to give it 16 colors. It's kind of immaterial for this, but we're going to go with 16 and it will be a low resolution screen. Let me be very clear here, first of all, that all the screens that you open here all have to be the same resolution. This will not work with low res and high res screens. You have to have these screens all the same resolution. So then we're going to hide the mouse. We're going to turn our cursor off. We're going to set the color to paper 5. Can't remember what that is off the top of my head. You'll see in a minute. And then we're going to clear the screen. Then we're going to use the center command to print this is screen 1. And then we're going to do a wait key. So we're going to wait for user input before we do the second screen. So let's run that. There we go. We've got a green screen. We've got no mouse, no cursor, which is what we've told it. And it's telling us this is screen 1. Wait key command comes into effect and the program ends. And that is our first screen. So what we're going to do then is open 3 more screens after this. So instead of doing all this code again, I'm just going to do Control B and I'm going to copy that. So then that's Control S to store it. So then I'm going to do paste, paste, paste. I need one more, paste. Okay, and I'm just going to go up and change some values here. So this will be screen 2. I'm changing the color of the paper here to be paper 6 because we want these to be different colors. I'm just going to change that comment there. This one will be screen 3 and we're going to change the color here to 13 and that'll be screen 3. 1, 2, 3. I've done one screen too many. Well done, Yawning Angel. You're ahead of the curve already. Screen open 4 and we'll have that at paper 14 and that will be screen 4. I don't need any of this, so I'm going to delete, delete, delete and tidy that code up. Right, so let's run this program now and see our 4 screens. So what we should get is screen 1 will open, then we'll press any key, screen 2 will open, press any key, screen 3 will open, press any key, screen 4 will open. So F1 to run that. There's screen 1, press enter, there's screen 2, there's screen 3, and there is screen 4. And there is our program ended. That is quite straightforward. There we have 4 screens open. Now, in order to move on with the program, we're going to need to close those screens because I want to reopen them at different sizes. So this is just a bit of housekeeping here. So now we're going to close those screens, and I'm just going to use a for next loop to do this because this is really straightforward. So for n equals 1 to 4, because we have 4 screens, screen 1, screen 2, screen 3, screen 4. Then all I'm going to do is issue the screen close command and tell it which screen to close. And in this case, because we're inside a loop, that will be n, and then it'll just be next n. So that's that for next loop. I press F3 to indent it. So what will happen here then is n will count through from 1 to 4, and the screen close command will issue screen 1, screen 2, screen 3, screen 4. That is how you close a screen. You use screen close. It's quite straightforward. And then also, just to keep things a little bit tidy, I'm then going to just do this on the screen. Screens 1, 2, 4, closed. You might be thinking, but Yawning Angel, you've closed all the screens. Where will that print? Well, let me show you. Locate 0,2, center. This is screen. What screen number will this be? Screen 0. Yes, because AMOS always opens with screen 0. Any screen that we do, screen open 1, is an additional screen. Word up, listen out to this. AMOS can handle 7 screens, screen 0 to screen 7. So technically 8 screens. I will double check that in a minute, but I'm sure we can open up to 7 screens. So let's quickly do locate 0,4, center, and then all we want to do is press a key to continue, and then we'll just do a wait key before we move on. So we'll check the code with F2, there's nothing wrong there. So let's run the code again. So here we go, screen 1, press a key, screen 2, press a key, screen 3, press a key, screen 4, press a key, screens 1 to 4 close. This is screen 0, press a key to continue. And that is very simple screen opening and closing, dead straight forward. Okay, so before carrying on, I just wanted to clarify that AMOS can handle screens from 0 to 7. So in the AMOS Pro Manual, page 060101, all about setting up screens. Identification number of screens can range from 0 to 7, so that would be 8 screens. So by default, AMOS will open up screen 0. You can then create your own after that, up to a maximum of screen number 7. There we go. Good. Right, quick mouthful of tea before we move on. I also noticed on my last bit of footage, I didn't have one of these lights on, so things might look a little bit brighter now. But there we go. Right, so step 3. So what we're going to do now is open up the screens again, but smaller versions of themselves. So let's dive in. Screen, open 1, and we'll have this at 320 by 50, 16 colors, and it'll be low resolution. So it doesn't matter what size you define your screen as. This is quite straightforward stuff. So what we're going to do is, once again, we'll hide the mouse pointer. We'll turn the cursor off. We will do a paper 5. We'll do a clear screen. Then we'll do a center screen 1, and we'll do a wait key. No errors on that. Good. So let's quickly run that and see what that gives us. So we'll just go through these. So these are our screens that we opened, our 4 screens. We close them all, and now we have a smaller screen up here. Look at that, 320 by 50. Great stuff. Right then, so now what I'm going to do is just copy that code 4 times. So Control B, Control S, Control P, Control P, Control P, and we'll do screen open 2. That will be paper 6. Screen 2, come down here, screen open 3, paper, what paper did we have that? We had that at 13. This is screen 3. Some of you might be shouting at the screen by now. Literally, Yawning Angel, this is going to be a bit weird. How are you going to position these screens? What is going on? Bear with me. All will be made clear shortly. Right, so now I should have 4 screens. So let's run it. So we'll run through the whole program again. Don't worry, it doesn't take long. So these are our original screens. We then close all of those screens. And now screen 1, screen 2, screen 3, screen 4. Program ends. We now have 4 small screens on our monitor. But that's a bit rubbish, isn't it? As you will all be thinking, Yawning Angel, we need to position those screens so we can see them all at the same time on our monitor. We do in this instance. Your own applications and desires may vary, but we're going to take a look at how we do that next. Right, so now what we're going to do is take those 4 screens and we're going to position them at specific points on our display area. And to do that, we're going to make use of the screen display command. And I'll put a comment in here because this is how the screen display command is broken down. It's screen display, then you tell it your screen number, then you tell it the hardware coordinates, X and Y values as to where you want that screen to appear in your display. Hardware coordinates, remember, not software coordinates. You can then define the size of that screen if you have not already done so. Hardware coordinates, some time ago I did a utility program. There's a video on my website, a link up here. If you go and watch that video, there'll be a link to where you can download a utility program where you can then run that program and you can get hardware coordinates that way. So take a look at that if you don't already know how to do hardware coordinates. I have already got my hardware coordinates because I did that earlier, so I didn't want to cover that again in this video. So what we're going to do then, we're going to start off with screen display screen 1, and we are going to position it at 128 across, 51 down. I don't want to change the size of my screen. I want to leave it at 320 by 50 because these are the sizes I've already defined. So all I have to do then is just leave these X and Y values blank. Just stick in a couple of commas there. AMOS is quite happy with that because it will go here and it'll go, oh, you haven't actually defined a size. So I'll use the size that the screen has already been defined at in the screen open command. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is issue a screen command, and I'm going to tell it, go to screen 1. And for screen 1, I want you to do paper 5. I want you to clear the screen, and I want you just to print screen 1. That's all we're going to do. These 2 lines here are going to display our screen in a new area, and we're going to push some commands out to that screen. So we've told AMOS for screen 1, I want it to be paper 5. I want you to clear the screen, and I want you to print screen 1 in the center. Next up, I'm going to do screen 2. So screen display 2 will be 128, 101 because we're now moving them down the screen, okay, or the display area. Leave the last 2 parameters blank. So because what I want is screen 1, I want screen 1, screen 2, screen 3, screen 4, and that's what we're doing here. Now I tell AMOS for screen 2, I want you to do paper 6. I want you to clear the screen, and I want you in the center to do screen 2. Simple as that. Now I want to do screen 3. So screen display 3, and that will be 128. They're all 128 across. And we just move them down pretty much 50 each time. So 151, leave the last 2 parameters blank. Now tell AMOS screen 3, I want you to do paper 13, I want you to clear the screen, and I want you to do center screen 3, like that. Finally, you know what's coming now, don't you? Screen display 4. Screen display 4, 128, and this one should be at 201. Last two parameters blank, because we'll just use the default screen size that we have already defined in the screen open command. Then we push our commands to screen 4, paper 14, CLS, center, screen 4, and then we'll finish off with a wait key. That should do it. So screen display 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're making use of the screen command after that to push some commands and some output to those screens. So let's run it. So we'll go through the whole program again. So these are our screen 1, screen 2, screen 3, screen 4. We then close all those screens. So we've got screen 0 is always there. We then define our screen 1, screen 2, screen 3, screen 4 at the smallest sizes. Now, hopefully when I press this key, you should see 4 screens all down the screen like this. Look at that, screen 1, screen 2, screen 3, screen 4. We've layered them nicely. You're probably thinking, you're an angel, there's a bit of a gap between some of them. Yes, there is, and in a future video, we will look at the command to adjust, to fine tune them. But for now, we're just layering the screens like this. This is fantastic. So next up, let's have a little bit of fun and let's push some content out to these screens. So with our screens now positioned correctly, we're going to push some content to them. And I thought I'd do some procedures here just to show you some stuff. We'll have a little bit of fun with things and see how we go. Right, so what I'm going to do is make use of a do loop. I'm going to set a variable here, counter, I'm going to set to 0. And we'll do a procedure called S1 for screen 1, which I'm going to quickly define down here. So procedure S_1 end proc. Right, let's go. So now if I go back to my do loop, if I press F3, that should indent nicely. Good. So what's going to happen in procedure 1? Well, let's find out. First thing I'm going to do is tell AMOS everything that's happening in here, you're going to do to screen 1. Paper will be 5. And then I'm going to do this. So while count not equal to 25, let's while end. So this is a while end statement. So while and it finishes with wend. And we're going to locate count, comma 2, print space, screen 1 here, and close that off, and then do a wait 5. Then I'm going to increment my counter. That's fine. Then after the when statement, I'm going to set count back to 0, and that will be that for now. Oh, quickly just tidy that up. Needs to be a lowercase. Right, so this is just a bit of fun, and this is just to demonstrate the difference, what you can do by using the screen command by defining which screen you're going to dump output to. We're going to add a little bit more code into this later on, but for now, that is what this will do. So let's just quickly run that. We go through all of this again. Yep, there's our screens, there's our 4 screens. So now I do this. So as you can see now, we've just got some text scrolling across the screen there, just to prove that that screen is there and that screen is active. So I'll do Control-C just to break back into the program. We're pretty much going to do the same for the other screens as well. So what I'm going to do now is S_2. Yes, I haven't defined screen that procedure yet. So let's quickly do that. Procedure S_2 and proc. And we're pretty much going to do exactly the same thing here. So what I'm going to do is just copy this code, really. Control-B, and we'll have all of that. Control-S, and we'll paste that in here. But because this is for screen 2, we're actually now telling it screen 2, and we'll change our comment here to be screen 2 rocks. And why wouldn't it? Screen 2 is awesome. F3, there's no problem there. Also F2, there's no problem there. And my loop is there. Good. So now if I run this, just we go through everything again. So I'm just going to skip through this quite quickly. So there's our screen. So there we go. Screen 1 doing its thing. Screen 2, obviously I haven't sorted the paper out on that. I need to change the paper color, but you get the idea. Stuff is happening. Control C to get into that. And let's change this paper color. That should be paper 6 on there. Now I'm going to do exactly the same for the next 2 screens as well. So all I'm going to do is just do S_3 and I'm going to do S_4 in my do loop because that's controlling all of this. And I'm just going to take, I'm going to copy procedure 1, store that, and let's go to the bottom here and paste it once, paste it twice. So what we're doing is the same thing for the other 2 screens. So, so this will be going, S3 will be going to screen 3, and the paper color for that will be 13. And this will say screen 3 ready. Then for the S4 procedure, which will go to screen 4, paper will be 14. And this will just say, bear with me. I wanted all these comments that appear on the screen to be different, so it proves that they are sending different output. Does that make sense? Screen 4 last. Full stop. So I think that's about done. So F2, no errors. F3, we should be happy. So now if I run this, so let's run through. There's our static screens. And wait for it. Screen 1. There we go. Screen 2. Screen 3. Screen 4. And because that's in a do loop, that will just keep scrolling those messages across. So now with that done, oh, I need to Control C because I didn't put a wait key in there. With that done, let's just have a little bit of fun with those screens, shall we? Right, so now we've got the messages appearing. Let's have a bit of fun and let's set these procedures so each procedure clears the message from the previous procedure. Let's write some code and you'll see what I mean. What I want to do here in procedure S1, which is for screen 1, I want to get it to clear the message from the previous screen. And as the do loop runs through, that'll be screen 4. So what we're going to do is write some code to clear the message from the previous screen. Okay, bear with me, this will make sense. What I'm going to do then is tell this procedure to go to screen 4. Okay, and we know in screen 4 paper is 14. And what I want to do is locate 0, 2. And what I want to do is just overprint the message that was there. So I know that's about 42 characters. So I'm just going to dump a blank string of 42 characters on there. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. That's all we're going to do. Quick and dirty code. There is nothing elegant here. But what I'm trying to do is to show that we're in a procedure, we've done a load of stuff to screen 1, but just by switching to screen 4, we can issue some instructions and have some code run, which is relevant to that screen. So to save you watching me type all this out again, what I'm going to do is just Control B. I'm just going to copy that. And in procedure S2, we're just going to dump that down. So when procedure S2 runs for screen 2, I need it to clear for screen 1. Okay, quite straightforward. So I tell it there, screen 1. Our paper for screen 1 is 5. That's good. Procedure S3 for screen 3 needs to clear for screen 2. And our paper there is 6. And for S4, it needs to clear for 3, and it's 13 is the paper color. If I save that, fingers crossed, this will work. So we'll run through everything again. I'm just going to quickly flick through this because you've seen this. Hopefully, right, here we are, there's our 4 screens. Now we start with our messages. So the first time through, nothing's going to clear on 1, but 2, look at that. You see, screen 2 is run, it's cleared screen 1, screen 3 is cleared screen 2, 4 is cleared screen 3. You see what's happening? So that code is actually now working. We've got AMOS jumping between screens as it runs the code. That's pretty cool. But we can have some more fun with this. Right, so with that working, I thought we'd just have a quick bit of fun. And what we'll do is in procedure S4, once that has done its thing, we're going to randomly change the pen color in the other screens. So let's have a look at how we will do that. So what I'm going to do then, Rem, step 6, have some fun with ink colors. What I'm going to do is just set a variable. K will equal a random number between 0 and 4. This will be for the screen that we assign the new ink color to, because this is going to be random. Obviously that's between 0 and 4. I only want screens 1 to 4. So what we'll say is if K equals 0, we'll set K equal to 1. And if you want to change this, you want to do this a different way, knock yourself out, feel free. Right, then we'll do a pen color randomizer. P will equal a random number between 0 and 15 because, let's change that to equals, because we've got 16 colors, 0 to 15 is 16 colors, all good. Then what we're going to do is I want to put a message to screen 4 to say what screen we've chosen and what ink color we've chosen, just to give us a bit of an idea as to what's happening. So now I tell AMOS on screen 4, what I want you to do is locate 1, 3, and I want you to print screen to change, and that will be K. And if we locate 1, 4, print color of ink, and that will be P, and we'll just do a space after that, just for a bit of housekeeping. Now what we're going to do is screen K, pen P. So what's going to happen here, we choose a screen at random, we choose an ink color at random, and we display that to the screen, and then we action those random values that we've set. Okay, so let's run that and see what happens. So we'll just quickly fly through this and let's go. Screen 1, screen 2, screen 3. When we get to the end of the screen 4 routine, it will now set the inks. So it's saying screen to change 1 color of ink is 3. And as you can see, that has happened. Yep, so it has actually issued that command. Screen 4. So screen to change now is 4 and the ink color will be 11. So this is just a bit of harmless fun just to experiment with those screen commands and just see how easy it is to switch things around. So it's going to do screen 4 again. Obviously it's changed the color of this message because all pen colors now will be governed by that. But you can see how this is working. It's just a bit of fun. Let's do it one more time. So screen to change 3, color 15, and it's done that. That's working really well. I'm really pleased with that. It's shown the flexibility of the screen commands and the screen display command. Screen open, screen close, it's all there. Brilliant. I'm going to take that as a win. So you might be thinking, well, this is all well and good, Yawning Angel, but what are the practical applications for this? When would I ever need to have multiple screens displayed in my display area at the same time? Well, let me show you a bit of code that I've been working on, and this is very much work in progress. This is a follow-on from my Spectrum Basic to AMOS video I released around Christmas time. And this is a new version of that I'm writing, but I'm using multiple screens. I'm having 2 screens displayed in the display area at the same time, and using an additional screen for some messages at the end of a particular stage of the game. So let me just run the code and I'll show you what I mean. Right then, I'll just show you this code running. This is very, very much work in progress. So let's see. So what I've got here, there's two screens already. The area at the top is one screen. This area is the second screen. As you'll notice, I can control something in the second screen while stuff is being updated in the screen at the top. And to control game over or end of level instructions, I've got another screen. As you can see here, this is another screen which I'm actually scrolling up from the bottom. I've defined the size of this screen and using the screen display command and a loop, I'm just moving it up the screen slowly, and it works really well. I'm quite pleased with that. As I said, very much work in progress. I will be doing a full video on this at some point on this channel, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. Ta-da! And that is it for another video. Thank you ever so much for watching. Don't forget the source code for this program is available to download for free from my website. The address for that is here. I do a number of AMOS tutorial videos. They can be found on my YouTube channel, so do subscribe if you don't want to miss out on any future ones. We are going to come back for a screens video part 2, where we'll cover the rest of the commands that are available for manipulating screens, things like screen copy. We can look at play fields for games. All that is to come in a future video, so subscribe if you don't want to miss out. I'm also available on a number of social media channels if you want to get in touch. I have a Ko-fi account if you wish to support my work, and thank you ever so much to those of you who have. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all your comments that you leave on the videos, the emails that I get sent via my website, contact through the social channels, and the Ko-fi donations. It really makes doing this so worthwhile, and I'm glad so many of you are getting so much out of these AMOS coding tutorial videos. It's great stuff. Also, don't forget, I write a monthly AMOS tutorial article in Amiga Addict magazine. So this is issue 26, where we looked at files, which was quite interesting. There's quite a lot of interesting stuff coming up in future tutorials that I've written for Amiga Addict, so be sure to go and check them out. Shameless plug, and I'm not being sponsored to say anything about it. So that is it for another video. Thanks once again for your time, and until the next one, whatever you do, stay safe and keep it retro.